No one had to be convinced. We all wanted to do it, and we were actually hoping to do it a year ago when it was the 25th anniversary of the show.
Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to our channel. The episode of the reunion of Friends was an exciting and sentimental experience for fans. However, for the 6 actors of the iconic sitcom, it was on a whole other level. On Thursday, Aniston spoke on Gayle King's SiriusXM show, Gayle King in the House, to discuss the massive wave of emotions she experienced during the cast's tearful and ecstatic on-set reunion. We're going to find out why Jennifer Aniston says returning to Friends set for a reunion special was a sucker punch in the heart. Number 9, an emotional and nostalgic experience. Jennifer Aniston, Kourtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer returned to their old soundstage, Stage 24, on the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank, California for the 2-hour special, which is now streaming on HBO Max. They toured the reconstructed sets they called home for 10 top-rated seasons of television. Walking back to the set 17 years after the show finished was an emotional and nostalgic experience for the actors. They collectively relived the event by sharing all of the laughs, emotions, and fears they had on set over the last decade.
In this environment, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, this is from the one where everyone finds out. Ugly naked guy's apartment.
Number 8, it was a sucker punch in the heart in a way. It was a sucker punch in the heart in a way, the actress Jennifer Aniston explained. It was for all of us, I think. Even Kourtney, we got tears out of. When the cast returned to the set, they were very naive in what we were expecting, Aniston said, recalling how she and her former co-stars were initially excited to see all of the sets, including specific props and tchotchkes from their characters' apartments and the Central Perk coffee shop, but were soon overcome by emotion.
This is never going to come again, so I'm really trying to appreciate everything it is.
Already it's painful.
Number 7, saying goodbye was not easy at all. We romanticized it, but you also have to remember we haven't been there since the series finale she shared. And that time was a very specific time when we were saying goodbye to something that we didn't want to, we cared deeply about, but we knew it was the time to say goodbye. Our lives were ahead of us. We had our future ahead of us. Of course, goodbyes are not easy, especially when you have to say it to a group of people who are more than just friends and a place that is more than just a set and feels like home.
I don't want it to end. It's kind of like an unnecessary evil though, isn't it? It has to happen.
Number 6, we time traveled. It almost felt like time had stopped and we time traveled, Aniston said of the return. And there's good in that, and then there's heartbreak in that. It's really hard to put that into a sentence, except it filled my heart. The actress said what the play means to her in the end. The amount of love that people have for these 6 characters is something that you can't really explain the meaning of it, she added. Being reminded of the amount of happiness this show brought to people, that's a special thing to be a part of.
No one had to be convinced. We all wanted to do it, and we were actually hoping to do it a year ago when it was the 25th anniversary of the show.
Number 5, Ross Rachel's on-screen chemistry was so good for a reason. The revelation that Ross and Rachel's on-screen chemistry was strengthened by some real-time feelings between Aniston and Schwimmer during Friends' early seasons was one of the greatest surprises for fans at the reunion. At some point, we were both crushing hard on each other, Schwimmer revealed during an interview segment with James Corden. But it was like 2 ships passing because one of us was always in a relationship. So we never crossed that boundary, we respected that.
At some point, we were both crushing hard on each other, but it was like 2 ships passing because one of us was always in a relationship.
Number 4, Jennifer Aniston talked about her friend's crush. It appears that the couple's sole romantic conclusion occurred on screen. We just channeled all of our adoration and love for each other into Ross and Rachel, Aniston insisted. I remember saying one time to David, it's gonna be such a bummer if the first time you and I kiss is gonna be on national television, she added. Sure enough, The first time we kissed was in that coffee shop, even though they both admitted they couldn't do anything about their increasing
I
attraction.
remember saying one time to David, it's going to be such a bummer if the first time you and I actually kiss is going to be on national television.
Number 3, did Ross and Rachel ever date in real life? David Schwimmer and Jen Aniston both admitted to having a strong infatuation with one another, even though they were never quote-unquote romantically involved. They never formally dated though, because they were never both available at the same time. That didn't stop the link from exploding and appearing in some of Ross and Rachel's scenes. Matt LeBlanc, on the other hand, slammed the accusations in their face. Between shots, Aniston and Schwimmer would snuggle up and fall asleep on the sofa, according to the cast. We got the impression from what Matt Blanc said that there's something they didn't tell
Another
us.
place and time could have had a Ross and Rachel in real life, but unfortunately they were like two ships passing in the night and they weren't single at the right time, but they
Number 2, nearly lost the part of Rachel Greene. Aniston also talked about how she almost didn't get the part of Rachel Greene. Aniston, who was featured in every episode of Friends, was almost replaced in another comedy, Muddling Through, before the show premiered. She told Gayle King how Friends director James Burrows informed her that Muddling Through would be renewed for a second season just to spike the show, jeopardizing her role as Rachel. Sure enough, they actually did, Aniston confirmed to Gayle King. They picked it up just for 3 episodes.
Because someone said, what could it hurt? Just go in there and say, ask to be let off. And that's when he said, I've seen that show, Friends. I saw that show. I saw the pilot. That's not going to make you a star. This show will make you a star.
Number 1, please let me out of the show. I'm auditioning for Rachel. Aniston recalled receiving phone calls from pals. Will you assist me with and said that Friends was looking for Rachel's backups if Muddling Through went on after 3 episodes, Aniston told Gayle King. I just went to the producer of Muddling Through and I said, please let me out of the show, Aniston told King. I really love this other show that I'm doing, and because someone said, what could it hurt? Just go in there and ask to be let off. And that's when he said, I've seen that show, Friends. I saw that show. I saw the pilot. That's not going to make you a star. This show will make you a star, and the rest is history. However, Muddling Through was cancelled, and Aniston went on to portray Rachel on Friends for the next 10 seasons. Even though it's been a long time since the series ended, all of the actors are still as emotional as they were 17 years ago. We believe that each of the 6 actors is affected by the show's finale, but we believe that walking back onto the set of Friends after a decade for the reunion was a nostalgic and tender experience for Jennifer Aniston, as she openly discussed on Gayle King's show and in an interview with James.
How often do we have steak on the menu?
She'd hardly ever.
That's right. So what you have there is a rare steak.
Corden. So do let us know how nostalgic you felt after watching the reunion episode in the comments down below. And even though this may be a tall order to fill, do let us know some of your favorite moments from the sitcom as well. And while you're doing that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, plus press that bell icon if you enjoy the content of this video and wish to see more of it in the future. And so, I bid you all adieu until the next video. Bye now!